turn on and give me the thumbs up. Yeah.
Good morning, wherever you are watching this wheelchair basketball game. It's coming to you live from the Bendak Basketball Centre in Floreat in Western Australia. I'm David Eckhart, and the two teams today, the home side, the built-up Perth Wheelcats, will be taking on the visitors from Adelaide, the Adelaide Thunder. Both teams going through their warm-ups as we get underway, or about to get underway, for Game 3 of the three-game series. Currently, 2 games to nil to the built-up Perth Wheelcats, and 2 big wins so far this weekend. As I said, this is Game 3 of 3. A couple of notable omissions out of the Adelaide Thunderbirds side. We had a concussion protocol for Danielle Hale, who's not going to be playing today, and Isabella Nitschke has woken up very sore after the first 2 games of the weekend. So the star of the Adelaide Thunder is not playing today in Isabella Nitschke. They're going in with 7 players. Lucinda Beauty will be in number 4. Ellie McInerney in number 7. Brooke Jopic wears number 8. Caitlin Gunn, the captain, is in number 11. Kira Sanchez in 13. Julianne Henry in 35. And Wendy Parsfield is in number 45. The coach is David Gould, Nathan Simpson his assistant, and Verity Sanchez the manager For the home side, the built-up Perth Wheelcats, they'll be led on court by Tasha Ovens. She's wearing number 13. Amy Beale is in 2, Sarah Vinci in 4. Natalie Alexander wears 6. Laura Gillis in 7. Georgina Gott is in 10. Star of this show, Georgina Inglis, is in 12. As I said, Tasha Ovens, skipper, is wearing 13. Sarah Houston is 23. And Ebony Stevenson is in 24. Michelle Swain, the coach, with Joe Stevenson as the manager. Our referees today, crew chief is Josh McWatters, and he'll be assisted by Jasmine Long and Brad Carley. Less than a minute away from getting underway, and would like to sincerely thank the sponsors of this particular competition, Beluga, who make it all possible in wheelchair basketball this year. You can follow us all on social media. We're on everything. Facebook, head to Facebook and just type in Wheelchair Basketball Australia. Same for the Instagram at Wheelchair Basketball Australia. Twitter, it's Wheelchair Hoops, and you can check it all out online at wba.net.au for your news, your fixtures, your information on all of the teams in the competition, not just in the NWBL, but also the NWBL. Quick update from other games being played today. The Sydney Blues have a big lead going into, it's almost, in fact, that has finished, that game, the early game, against the Gold Coast Rollers on the Gold Coast, up at Carrara, 67-26. Just about all in readiness. Teams having their last-minute pep talk from the coaches, David Gould and Michelle Swain, getting their teams ready to go. So as we roll out onto the court, let's have a look at the starting fives. Referee McWatters calling them out onto the court. So for the Adelaide Thunder, Caitlin Gunn is the captain. On court with her is Lucinda Beauty. There's Ellie McInerney is out there as well. What else can I see out there for the team as they roll around? Julianne Henry, tall girl, and this is going to be a mismatch for the tip-off. We've got Laura Gillis sitting high in the chair and taking on a rather short Caitlin Gunn. So one would assume that first possession should go to the belt-up Perth Wheelcats. Let's see what happens. Game is underway, and the taller Gillis gets the ball down to Tasha Ovens. Ovens now bringing the ball into court. Inside pass is missed under the hoop by Gillis. So out of court, 10 seconds in, and the first turnover of the game through a bad pass. Adelaide Thunder now will bring the ball into play through Caitlin Gunn. Gunn looks for and finds Henry. Henry still in the back court, gets the ball into the front court now to Lucinda Beauty. Beauty looks for and finds Passfield, I beg your pardon, and Passfield loses control of the ball and it bounces harmlessly out of court. Another turnover. The two games played so far in this series have resulted in big wins, 60 plus in each game to the Perth Wheelcats. As they head into game 3, if they manage to pull off the win in this game, they'll leapfrog Sydney and go up to third place on the ladder with 5 and 3 on the season. Currently 4 and 3, knocked away by Passfield, recovered by Georgia Inglis. To Tasha Ovens. Ovens can't find her centre. And there's scorers counts. The shot got away just as the shot clock went off. And the first score on the board is 2 points. And that looked like Tasha Ovens putting that in from the corner. A restart now. Bendet Basketball Centre, now the home of basketball in Western Australia. All their NBL 1 action being played here, as well as domestic basketball. And now the wheelchairs have moved over here as well from their previous home at the Herb Graham Recreation Centre in Mirrabooka. That ball's knocked out of bounds off the hands of Sarah Vinci, so it'll be an Adelaide ball from the baseline. Referee McWatters looking for someone to bring it in. Ellie McInerney will provide that function for the Thunder. Inbound pass. Finds the captain in Caitlin Gunn. Gunn looks for a way out of the backcourt, gets a screen from Passfield. trapped on the sideline and goes out of court. Some good pressure there from Georgia Inglis, who I believe has a sister playing tennis over in London at the moment. In Madison, George Inglis, inbound pass, finds her captain, Taysha Ovens. Back to Inglis, just outside the three-point arc. Looks for a way into the court. Looks for a pass, inbound pass, but can't find a teammate, and Caitlin Gunn steals that away for the Thunder. Outlet pass, can't find anyone, and then goes to Georgia Inglis. Inglis now on the outskirts of the key. Inbound pass, still can't find the tall hands of Laura Gillis. Sitting high in the chair, but her team can't seem to find solid hands there in the keyway. Adelaide Thunder again now. Inbound pass. Low scoring affair. We're almost 2 minutes into this first period. There's only one score on the board. 2-0 to the built-up Perth Wheelcats. Lob pass finds Passfield. Passfield out wide. Finds Beauty. Beauty's knocked out of court, and it'll be a sideline ball to the Perth Wheelcats. Beg your pardon, it wasn't Wendy Passfield on the far side. Vision not showing up. Julianne Henry, in fact, in the 35. Apologies to Passfield and to Julianne. We'll get you right. This is Georgia Inglis looking for a way into the keyway. Finds teammate, can't get it through. The rebound to Inglis. Inglis across the keyway this time does find Gillis, who misses on the putback. And it's rebounded by Caitlin Gunn. This time to Henry. Releases Wendy Passfield, who has Georgia Inglis blocking the inside lane. Back to Julianne Henry. This time to Lucinda Beauty, and the score's a level. 2 points to Beauty. A little layup from just in front of the elbow. Perth now over the half court into the offensive half. Inglis takes the long range shot. Rebound to Ovens. To Gillis. Gillis short on the shot. Rebound under the basket to... can't see the number in there. It looked like Ebony Stevenson. Yes, it was. And then the ball out of court. Off an Adelaide hand. Sarah Vinci with the inbound pass. Finds Georgia Inglis. Long range shot. Hits the ring and bounces away. Beauty with the rebound. And an outlet pass to Henry. To the captain in Gunn. Gunn across halfway. Didn't get across the half court in time. So backcourt violation. So we'll restart. In the front court, Taysha Ovens inbound pass. Finds Georgia Inglis. Inglis finds Ebony Stevenson for two off the backboard. 4-2 in favour of the Be Active, not Be Active anymore, the Belt Up Perth Wheelcats. Be Active was sponsored many years ago. All coming through state government funding, of course. Different programs. This time it's the Belt Up program. Passfield can't get the hot pass coming in from Henry, and taken away by Stevenson through to Gillis. Gillis to Ovens. Ovens to Inglis, and under the basket. 2 points to Sarah Vinci, one of the veterans of this side. She's been playing many years now in many championship teams. Beauty now. Vinci's opposite number, literally. The inbound pass finds Ellie McInerney, and there's a block off the ball. Lucinda Beauty. So a turnover from the Adelaide through that offensive foul. Ball now with the Perth Wheelcats. Wheelcats captain Taysha Ovens wheels into the elbow, releases Inglis from the floor level, and scores two more. Lead's blowing out now, 8 points to 2. We're almost halfway through this first period of action. 4 quarters of 10 minutes, of course. And Perth Wheelcats looking to make a clean sweep of the weekend. Passfield's pass can't find a teammate, and it's cleaned up in defensive by Ebony Stevenson, who then throws it away. This is Julianne Henry looking for a way to the basket. Bounces away and cleaned up by Inglis. He's guarded very closely by Wendy Parsfield. A little bit of help there from McInerney allows Inglis to get into the front court. Bounce pass finds Vincey off the glass for two. Both those girls being Australian representatives in the past. They have a very good understanding of each other's games, having played alongside each other for many, many years. First substitution coming in, Wendy Parsfield going out. And coming in for her first wheel of the game is Brooke Jopic. Sarah Vincey at the line for a bonus. Can't make the bonus go. Ball is clattering around on the floor. Hasn't been cleaned up by anyone yet, so clock hasn't started. Offensive rebound then. Madison Inglis cleans up. 10 seconds left to get the shot away. Finds Gillis under the basket for two. Getting 12 points to 2 now. A 10-point lead. No action from Coach Gould, whether he wants to stop the momentum with a timeout. At this point in yesterday's game 2, after a 10-0 start to the Wheelcats, David did call for a timeout. Ball rolls away out of court across court number 2, and substitutions coming in while the ball wheel rolls away. Coming to the game, Kira Sanchez, number 13, takes the place of Julianne Henry, and Laura Gillis comes out, and coming into the game is Sarah Houston, the first minutes of this match. Inbound pass is stolen away for the Adelaide Thunder and then bouncing off the hands of Jopic and out of court. For McWatters will bounce the ball back to Houston. Houston inbound pass to Ovens. Ovens coming across the half court now into offense. 12 points to 2 with 4 minutes left in the opening period. This Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League brought to you by Beluga. And it's the Wheelcats, 10 points to the good, 12 points to 2. Cross the keyway pass, bounces all the way across to the Wheelcats bench without being touched by anyone else. So a turnover. Adelaide Thunder. Thunder inbound. Into the front court already. Sanchez with the ball. Looking for a teammate. Still got hold of the ball. A lob pass into the key. Fortune favours the Brave and can't get the score, sadly, for Caitlin Gunn. Now it's Madison Inglis off to an open laneway through the key. And the underarm layup just falls short, hits the underside of the basket and rolls away. Ball now in the hands of Adelaide with Sanchez. And quick release pass out the back. Has Beauty, who rolls out of court, sadly. And out of real estate on the sideline. Natalie Alexander looking to wheel in. Coming into the game is Amy Beale for her first minutes and having a rest just before the first break. We'll see Ebony Stevenson and Georgia Inglis taking a rest. So, Beale now with the ball, rolls to the free throw line and releases a pass, misses everything, bounces harmlessly out of court. Restart will come from Lucinda Beauty. Referee says, sorry, I need to give the ball in before we start. So now we're underway. 3 minutes to go until quarter time. Beauty to Gunn and back to Beauty to bring the ball into the front court for the Adelaide Thunder. Looking to reduce the deficit. We've got Beale blocking the entry in. Sanchez has to take a long shot off the back of the ring. Bounces away and cleaned up by Sarah Houston. Houston now doing it on her own into the front court. Sarah Vincey providing an opportunity on her left. Uses her and off the glass for 2 more. 14 points to 2. Coming down to the last 2 minutes of the opening quarter. Perth have opened up a 12-point gap here at the Bendat Basketball Centre in Women's NWBL. for Wheelchair Basketball Australia. Don't forget you can find us all across the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and online at wba.net.au. Adelaide Thunder, winless this season so far, looking to open their account for the year and can't score on this trip down the floor, coming into today's game at 0-7 and looking to restore some pride. David Gould does call a timeout now at 1:53 left in the opening period. So looking at the box scores and scorers at this stage, it's all one-way traffic as you would expect with a scoreline of 14 points to 2. Sarah Vinci has 6 points to this point, and Georgia Inglis 4, 2 apiece to Ebony Stevenson and Laura Gillis. And for the Adelaide Thunder, the solitary 2 points coming from Lucinda Beauty at about halfway through that opening period. So David Gould calls a timeout to basically break the run up. It was a 12-0 run there. The scores were level at 2 apiece, with Lucinda Beauty putting in the reply. But it took an awful long time before the first score came, and now as we head into, as I said, the last 2 minutes of the opening period, we've got a scoreline of 14 points to 2. You can hear in the background the timer going off on the score bench saying that's your 60 seconds. So the referees are calling the players back on court. No changes during the timeout, no substitutions. So we've got Beale, Alexander, Ovens, Vinci and Houston on court for the Wheelcats. And for the Thunder, it's Sanchez. Beauty is out there. Let's see, Caitlin Gunn still on the court. Sanchez, another one that's still on the court. And Brooke Chopic sitting in the wing. This is Natalie Alexander, another long-time servant of the Perth Wheelcats. Bounce pass just at the feet of Tayshar Ovens. His shot hits the back of the ring. Sarah Vinci with the rebound. Can't get her shot to go. Rebound Houston, and doesn't go either. We've got a jump ball situation here. Disputed possession. And Adelaide Thunder will get the restart from the baseline through Lucinda Beauty. Beauty now. Gets the ball from referee Carley. Finds the skipper in Gunn. Gunn back to Beauty, who brings the ball over the half court. Looks for him, finds Caitlin Gunn, long range shot. It's the second basket for the Adelaide Thunder. Back to a 10-point margin. Sarah Vinci now from Tayshar Ovens brings the ball into the front court. Sends the ball back to skipper and the point guard. Has Natalie Alexander out on the right wing. Ovens, top of the key, lob pass into Beale. Beale over the top of the ring and cleaned up by the Adelaide defence. This is Sanchez bouncing away across half court, and Caitlin Gunn puts in his second basket within a minute. And it's now inside double figures. 14 points to 6 with 20-odd seconds to the first break. Sarah Houston now bringing the ball into the front court. Doesn't use Natalie Alexander, who is an option. Tayshar Ovens at the top of the key does use Alexander out on the right wing. Looking for a way through. A little help from Houston. Opens up the way for Alexander to get into the keyway. Meanwhile, Ovens rolls to the free throw line and can't get her shot to go. And the siren goes for quarter time. 14 points to 6 is the quarter time scoreline here at the Bendat Basketball Centre on Sunday morning in Indigenous Round. Indigenous Round honouring wheelchair basketball legend Uncle Kevin Coombs. We'll take a quick break and refresh our throat, and we'll be back for second half action very, very soon. quarter time in this Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League game from the Bendat Basketball Centre in the Perth suburb of Floreat, the home of Basketball Western Australia, and where the Perth Wheelcats are based in 2025. It is a 14-6 quarter time scoreline in this Indigenous round game between the built-up Perth Wheelcats and the Adelaide Thunder. Home side leading by 8 points. Leading all scorers at the moment with 6 points is Sarah Vinci, who has played all 10 minutes so far. 4 points to Georgia Inglis and 2 apiece to Laura Gillis and Ebony Stevenson. And for the Adelaide Thunder, we've got 4 points to Caitlin Gunn, the captain, who again has played all 10 minutes, and 2 points to Lucinda Beauty. 14 points to 6 in this Indigenous round game, honouring the legacy of the late Uncle Kevin Coombs and the players in the Indigenous strips this weekend. Second half action to get underway, and it'll be the Perth Wheelcats in control of the ball after the one and only disputed possession jump ball in the first half gave the ball to Adelaide. So Perth with the restart, and it's Tayshar Ovens to Georgia Inglis. Ovens played all 10 minutes of the first quarter as well. Inglis back to Ovens to Vinci off the glass. It bounces away. No score there, and cleaned up by Stevenson, who's back on the court. Adelaide now looking to get the ball over the half court. They've got a couple of seconds, and they do just that. Sanchez into the front court, confronted by Ovens, the two number 13s, going wheel to wheel. That shot is short from Sanchez and cleaned up by Sarah Vinci. Screen from Ovens allows Inglis to get into the front court. Works away to the top of the key and releases Ebony Stevenson for 2 points. Good work there from the Perth Wheelcats. Good teamwork, getting the ball quickly down the court and into the hoop. Back out to a 10-point game. Sanchez now loses control of the ball, and Georgia Inglis cleans up. Bounce pass across the court to Sarah Vinci, works away into the court, and a block will be called on Sanchez. Have a look at it. No. It's on Jopic, in fact. A sideline ball, or baseline ball in this case. Referee Long hands the ball over. Bounce pass finds Inglis. Vinci to the free throw line. Nice little arc on that shot. And 2 more to the former glider. Sarah Vinci now an integral part of the built-up Perth Wheelcats, as she has been for many years. Tayshar Ovens now. Inbound pass to Georgia Inglis working away down the left sideline. Bounce pass to Ovens. Finds Gillis. And Gillis lobs in for 2. Tall centre for the Wheelcats. Finding her range from the low post. Good pressure now from Gillis on the Adelaide offence. Ball bouncing away off the back of one of the Wheelcats players and rolling away onto the second court. Referee Carley retrieves the ball, and it'll be an Adelaide ball from the side. This is Wendy Parsfield. Parsfield played significant minutes in the opening period before a rest. The ball's knocked out of court. Last hands on that, probably Caitlin Guns from the Adelaide Thunder. And it's a turnover, and the ball comes back in favour of the Perth Wheelcats. Wheelcats, Tayshar Ovens rolls the ball into the front court, pulls up outside the three-point arc. Across the court to Inglis. Inglis looking for an opportunity. Confronted by Parsfield. Finds Stevenson. Stevenson's shot doesn't go. Gillis with the rebound and the putback. And the score is getting out now. 22 points to 6 after a 14 points to 6 half-time score. So 8 unanswered points to open up this second period for the Perth Wheelcats. The Adelaide Thunder can't handle the inbound pass, and it's cleaned up by the Wheelcats. Ebony Stevenson will go to the line for 2, fouled in the act of shooting. Another foul on Jopic. Substitutions coming for Adelaide, and it'll be Julianne Henry coming back in for... he's going to come out. Sanchez looks like she's going to be coming off. For those of you that are not familiar with the scoring for these, each player has a classification score, and you're only allowed a certain amount of points on the court at any one time. So it makes the coaching staff think about the total amount of points. So it's not necessarily a like-for-like coming in and out, and need to be aware of the classification points available for each of the players for the 5 on court at any one time. Adelaide with the ball through Caitlin Gunn. Julianne Henry releases Beauty. Beauty into the front court is fouled by Sarah Vinci. So just in the half court. 16 seconds on the shot clock. And they just got the ball over the line in time for the foul. This is Passfield. Passfield looks for options, has Beauty. Beauty confronted by Stevenson. Stevenson gets blocked herself, this time by Passfield. Allows Beauty to work the perimeter to Henry. Henry looking for options as the clock runs down. She's going to have to take a shot. Beauty can't get the shot away on time, and it misses anyway. So 24-second shot clock violation as the Perth defence forced the play out wide and nullified any options coming into the paint, forcing the turnover. 22 points to 6, 3 minutes gone in this second period. Women's National Wheelchair Basketball from the Bendat Basketball Centre here in Floreat in Perth. The Perth Wheelcats can't score on this drive down the court. It's cleaned up by the Adelaide D. Caitlin Gunn is running out of time, just gets it into the front court but to nobody, and it's cleaned up by Ebony Stevenson. Stevenson fouled by Lucinda Beauty, and we'll need a helping hand to get up. There we go, she's going to do it by herself and into the chair. Good work, Ed. Lock the feet back into place, and we're all ready to go. So the ball with the active, I keep saying that, it's been a long time. It's the belt up Perth Wheelcats. My apologies to people here at Perth. The belt up Perth Wheelcats. A long range shot from the sideline from Georgia Inglis. We've got equipment failure. The hub has come off Sarah Vinci's left wheels, managed to bang that back into place. She now provides a mid-court block on Julianne Henry. Meanwhile, the ball back at the back court. As the bounce pass comes in and knocked straight out of court by Ebony Stevenson, but into the lap of Lucinda Beauty, who was half on the court, which means that's a turnover. So Stevenson finds Inglis, 24-12. She needs a number 6 on the court to find, but finds a 4 instead. And Sarah Vinci adds to her tally. 24 points to 6, a 10-0 run since quarter time. 4 minutes gone in this second period. This is Passfield, back to Beauty. Beauty blocked by Stevenson. Her pass into the front court is knocked away by Vinci into the path of Stevenson to Gillis, to Vinci off the glass for 2. 26 points to 6, and a timeout called by the Adelaide Thunder coaching staff who want to break this run. That is a 12-0 run since quarter time in 4.5 minutes. And rightly so, Coach David Gould says we need to put a stop to this and just break the momentum up. Michelle Swain doesn't look at all worried in her chair for the huddle, talking to her players. Still got a couple on the sideline. Bill back in the hoodie to keep warm on this coolish day here in Perth. And the lollies get passed around the playing group. A bit of sugar energy for them. Stevenson shakes her head and says, I don't want that. Let's turn our attention over to the Adelaide Thunder, who are missing two of their keys today from their lineup with a head knock in yesterday's game for Danielle Hale. So she's suffering the effects of concussion, so not being risked today. And Isabella Nitschke, who's played two solid games over this weekend here in Perth and has woken up in quite a bit of pain today, so she's not taking her place, which sort of hamstrings David Gould and his playing style today, because Isabella Nitschke is one of the keys for the Adelaide Thunder. So you have to play with the cards that you dealt with, I guess, and David was very philosophical before the game, saying it is what it is, and we go into the game with our 7 and see how we go. So down by 20 points at the moment after a 12-0 run to the belt-up Perth Wheelcats. 5.5 to go, and after that last basket from Sarah Vinci, it'll be an inbound pass to the Adelaide Thunder with 8 players in the front court for Adelaide and just 2 in the back court, being Caitlin Gunn and Lucinda Beauty. Beauty with the ball now into the front court. Gets some help from Jopic as she's holding out 2 of the defenders. The inbound pass into the keyway pass. Looking for Julianne Henry, bounces away. Gillis to Inglis and to Ovens, and the Wheelcats skipper gets on the score sheet with a couple more. 28 points to 6 halfway through this second period. We've got what's turning out to be another one-sided game, as the opening 2 this weekend here in Perth have been, with wins clearly to the Wheelcats. Adelaide struggling this season, home and away. They're 0-7 at the moment this season. Wheelcats coming to this game 4-3. A win today will give them a 3-0 run this weekend, and we'll see them leapfrog Sydney into the 3rd place on the ladder. Inglis takes a rest, so does Stevenson, so does Vinci, so does Gillis. Wholesale changes from Coach Swain for the Wheelcats. Georgina Gott gets her first minutes on court. Natalie Alexander is back. We've got Beale, Ovens, and looks like Sarah Houston's come back on for more minutes in this game. And while Alexander, confronted by Jopic, wheels away to the elbow and lobs it in with a nice left-handed shot right on the 24-second hooter for 2 more. 30-6 in favour of the built-up Perth Wheelcats. Rolling the ball into the front court is Sanchez for Adelaide, confronted by Houston. Releases the pass inside to Julianne Henry. Grabs the ball on the second attempt and lobs it in with a friendly roll. And Adelaide are on the board in this second period through Julianne Henry. 30 points to 8. Ovens now. Inbound pass to Alexander. Back to the skipper, who rolls it into the front court. Pulls up at the 3-point arc. Back out to Alexander out on the right wing. Confronted by Henry. Bounce pass back to the unguarded Ovens. Long range shot. Bounces away. Tapped away by Passfield into the hands of Caitlin Gunn, who releases Julianne Henry. 1 on none. Can't get that ball to drop. Sanchez does the clean-up work. Off the glass. Misses. And Houston with the defensive board for Perth. Looks for Ovens. Just gets past the hands of Henry. Ovens into the front court has Alexander from the low post. Left-handed. Which is the open side for her, and lobs it in for another 2. So 4 quick points to Natalie Alexander from this right wing. The appropriate wing for the left-hander opens up the basket nicely. 32-8 in this quarter. It's been one-way traffic. 18 points to 2 so far in this quarter. After a 14-6 opening quarter, it's now 32 points to 8 with 2.5 minutes to go. Alexander on her non-preferred side. Passes across the key to Houston for 2 more. Perth Wheelcats doing exactly what they want to do. Get the ball down the court and into some open hands and take the shot before the pressure arrives, the defensive pressure arrives from the Adelaide Thunder. Caitlin Gunn, who has not had a rest in this game by my recall, has a shot, misses, cleaned up by Sanchez, and the putback is good, and the Thunder are into double figures. 34 points to 10. The Wheelcats now. This is Houston bringing the ball up the court. 23 down to the skipper in 13, into Beale. Beale takes the shot, can't get it to roll in off the back of the rim, and it bounces out of court. Adelaide ball back in from Caitlin Gunn, will take possession, and she has Sanchez to help her out. There's 5 Wheelcats and 3 Thunder in the front court as Sanchez and Gunn now arrive. Gunn taking it round the perimeter on the left-hand side of the arc. Inbound pass, can't find Passfield, just rolls away. Can't get the control of that, and rolls out of court. 34-10, 90 seconds left to half-time. And Perth Wheelcats, the built-up Perth Wheelcats, bring the ball down the court once more through Natalie Alexander. Alexander slowing things down, taking time out of the clock. Ovens out on the right-hand side, gets a screen from Houston, and a legal screen, according to referee Carley. A moving screen, can't do that. So turnover ball. Gunn to Sanchez, the backcourt pairing. Sanchez wheels into the front court now, confronted by Houston. Last foul called on her. Sanchez now looking for an opportunity. Henry providing a bit of a screen, and the 1-2 doesn't quite get there. Gets to Gunn instead. Gunn to Sanchez off the glass. The 2 points will count, and there's a foul in there. Sarah Houston brings up another foul very quickly. So Sanchez will go to the line. Kira Sanchez for the bonus. Just reduce the margin down to 11 points. Doesn't fall. Julianne Henry gets the offensive board. Can't get the putback. And Houston cleans up and looks for and releases. Got. One hand control of the ball. Back to Houston to Beale. And Beale can't reel that in. And it bounces out of court. So it's all just happening out there at the moment. Doesn't seem to be any rush. And the scoring percentages won't be magnificently high. But it is a good game on a nice crisp morning in Perth. A bit of weather about outside apparently, but it's nice and cool inside and dry for the most part. Sarah Houston now brings the ball up into the front court. Releases Tayshar Ovens to Gott. And Gott gets her first points coming off the bench. As the clock winds down, there's no shot clock left. We've just got the 10 seconds left in the game. This is Kira Sanchez. Passes infield to Julianne Henry. Gives it to Caitlin Gunn, who is fouled in the act of shooting. Doesn't drop. Looks like it's Natalie Alexander will wear that foul. So Caitlin Gunn goes to the line, shooting for 2 with 1.7 seconds left in the opening half. Here at the Bendet Basketball Centre. Gunn, the Adelaide skipper, sets herself up. And there's the first one. Just too long. Bounces away. And even the rebound bounces away and over the top of Caitlin. So we set ourselves up for a second of 2. Deep breath, and away it goes. This one's short and rebounded by Gott. He just holds the ball and allows the time to run down. It is half-time at the Bendet Basketball Centre in this game 3 of 3 between the built-up Perth Wheelcats and the Adelaide Thunder in this Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League for Wheelchair Basketball Australia. Well, thanks to Beluga. We'll have a look at the scorers to half-time before we take a break. 36 points to 12 And leading all comers already into double figures. Sarah Vinci has 12 for the Wheelcats. 6 to Laura Gillis, the centre player. 4 each to Natalie Alexander, Georgia Inglis, and Ebony Stevenson. 2 to Tasha Ovens. 2 each to Georgina Gott, I beg your pardon, and Sarah Houston. For Adelaide, leading point scorer is 4 with Kira Sanchez and Caitlin Gunn, 4 apiece. 2 to Julianne Henry and Lucinda Beauty. And that's up to 12. It is half time here at the Bendick Basketball Centre. We're going to take a quick break and clear some commitments, and we'll be back for second half action as the Wheelcats lead by 24 points at the long break. Welcome back to the Bendat Basketball Centre in the suburb of Floreat, out in the western areas of Perth metropolitan area, where the Belt Up Perth Wheelcats are hosting the Adelaide Thunder this weekend in a series of NWBL matches as well as 3x3 games, and contrasting fortunes between the NWBL sides, as Adelaide Thunder are 0-7 coming into this game 3 for the season, yet their 3x3 team have only lost one game. So work that one out, pundits, as we go into this second half. So the Thunder heading to the corporate box end, if you like, the main end of this John Garden show court. Could only manage 12 points in the first half, whereas we had 36 points scored at the other end by the Wheelcats. We'll see if those fortunes can turn around, see if the scoring is just as easy for the Thunder as it was for the Wheelcats as they change directions in this second half. 36 points to 12, the half-time score. With a little under 90 seconds to go. The second half gets underway. A win today, as we've said in the call so far, if you're just joining us. But a win today for the Perth Wheelcats will give them a clean sweep for the weekend and will jump them up from 4th, currently on the table, to 3rd. A win earlier today in WNWBL action. Having a look at some of the earlier scores today. A win to Sydney Blues, 67 to 26, which may stymie the job of Perth to go into 3rd place, because the Sydney Blues were in 3rd place, and their win over the Gold Coast Rollers probably keeps them in 3rd. So Wheelcats looking for some pride this weekend in this Indigenous round for the Uncle Kevin Coombs legacy round. Their hope of going into 3rd place may be stymied by that early win for the Sydney Blues over the Gold Coast Rollers. And still to come on this Sunday in wheelchair basketball action, the Victoria Wonders at home to the Sydney Uni Lions. So, getting back to the game at hand here, a 24-point lead to the home side as Adelaide get us underway in the second half through Lucinda Beauty. Beauty looks for and finds her captain in Caitlin Gunn. Long range shot, bounces away. Taysha Ovens cleans up for the Wheelcats and then heads off down this left sideline. Working her way into the key now, gets as far as the free throw line, lobs it across to Gillis. Gillis doesn't get it to the friendly roll. But Georgia Inglis with the offensive board and the putback gets the scoring underway in this second half. Adelaide now down the left-hand side through Beauty. Beauty confronted by her opposite number 4 and Sarah Vinci. Looking for options. Inbound pass misses Julianne Henry and bounces away over the top of Caitlin Gunn on the sideline. Claiming that Stevenson had the last touch, but not according to referee Long, who was right there. And it's going to be a Perth ball. And Wheelcats into the front court now through Inglis. Inglis long pass to Gillis. Can't pick it up, just slightly off direction. And out of court. Perth ball. Vinci, inbound pass to Inglis. Inglis out on the right-hand side of the court. Looking for action in the keyway. There's a lot of wheelchairs in there. A lot of players. Pass to Stevenson off the glass. Bounces away. Last hands were Stevenson's, so it'll be an Adelaide ball. Stevenson sitting higher in the chair than Caitlin Gunn. Getting the last touch out of court. Adelaide now bring the ball into the court through Lucinda Beauty in the front court. Gets some help out on the left-hand side. Well, it's Wendy Passfield. It's been knocked out of the chair. So much for the seatbelt. Well, the seatbelt was there, but she slid straight through it by the look of it. Back in the chair. Certainly humorous down there. Passfield's actually laughing at her own self by the look of it. So she's strapped in now. Got the ratchet strap going across the thighs, now across the waist. Looks like we're locked in. Securely strapped in now. Receives the applause from the crowd here at the Bendat Basketball Centre. Lindy Passfield into the what is the backcourt for Adelaide now. Takes up her position in the zone defence. Inglis now rolls unimpeded to the free throw line and puts it in for another 2 points. And the Wheelcats have hit 40 points to 12. The only points in this second half have been to the Wheelcats. Gone from 36 to 40 inside the first 2 minutes. This is Caitlin Gunn, confronted by a bunch of Wheelcats. Finds Beauty to Julianne Henry off the glass. Can't get the friendly roll, gets her own rebound. The putback is over the top. And Lucinda Beauty has the ball knocked out of her hands, out of court. So it'll be an Adelaide ball. Kira Sanchez and Jopic coming back into the game for Julianne Henry and Wendy Passfield. So Brooke Jopic is back on the court. McInerney finds Gunn. The long-range shot bounces away and is cleaned up by Stevenson, who releases Inglis. Inglis on her own to the basket for 2 more. A 6-0 run for Perth. As the ball's now back in the front court through Lucinda Beauty. Beauty looking for options. Has Sanchez out on the left. Caitlin Gunn's out on the left as well. Uses McInerney. On the right-hand side, has the ball knocked away by Gillis. Not much time left on the shot clock, and David Gould has said, "We'll stop the clock there, and we'll stop the flow. We'll have a quick chat." And 3 timeouts in the second half to be used, and there's the first one being used by Coach Gould. He's drawing up the plays for his team to have a look at. Michelle Swain can't be disappointed with what she's seen so far. 2 games already this weekend, and the Wheelcats have scored over 60 in each. So think about that. That's averaging over 15 points per quarter so far this weekend, and nothing's changed here as we had 36 points to half-time. Now it's 42 points to 12 with just 3 minutes gone in this second half. And the Wheelcats have a comfortable 30-point lead as Coach Gould draws up some plays for his team to execute into this second half. It's been a big weekend for the Thunder. They lost a couple of players after 2 games, one through concussion protocols, one through just general soreness more than anything in Isabella Nitschke. So, a little understaffed coming into game 3 of 3. And a little timing issue on the score bench as we adjust the clock. Crew Chief Josh McWatters just making sure we're all good to go. So we're going to run this down to, I think it's 7:03, but we'll see what the score bench says it's going to be. Sprung it up now. 7:05. There we go, wasn't far off. Very well. We'll come back to the game. McWatters says 7:03. All right, not 7:05. So, McInerney for Thunder on the sideline. Inbound pass finds the captain in Gunn. Gunn runs out of time. There was only 4 seconds. Didn't have all day to get that shot away. It had to be a catch and shoot. And it was just a catch and hold. And a turnover deep in the backcourt. Perth Wheelcats then. An inbound pass. Inglis to Vinci. Vinci looking for Ovens. Ovens through the keyway and through the hands of... Who was that? Oh, it was young Stevenson. He almost bent over backwards trying to get that pull back in, but couldn't get the hands on it. And out of court. So now the ball with the Thunder as we come into the front court through Lucinda Beauty. Beauty confronted by a wall of Wheelcats. Makes her way around it. Still hasn't got anyone to give it to. Looks for Sanchez. Sanchez's shot bounces away. Rebound from Vinci. Releases Gillis. Gillis through the half court. On her way into the keyway. Clear pass off to Stevenson, who can't get the ball to drop. And Sanchez is away for the Thunder. Multiple substitutions coming by the looks of things for the Wheelcats. And yep, it's going to be 4 on, 4 off. Tasha Ovens looks like she's going to get her first rest. So is Sarah Vinci. Georgia Inglis comes off, as does Gillis. So leaving Stevenson out there as the only starter for the second half. So Beale, Alexander, Gott and Houston have come back on. Mass substitutions for the Wheelcats. When you're leading by 30, I guess you can give the whole bench a run today, and that's exactly what Coach Swain is doing in this game. Plenty of experience, plenty of room on the scoreboard to be able to do this. Stevenson's shot bounces off the back of the rim, cleaned up by Beauty. Beauty on her own. Let's get some leads coming through from McInerney and Sanchez to help her clear space. Caitlin Gunn with a shot clock running into the single figures. Beauty across the keyway, and Caitlin Gunn can't clean it up and keep it in as the pass missed Kira Sanchez and bounced out of court. So Sarah Houston now with a bounce pass finds Stevenson. Stevenson back to Houston. Alexander provides a nice screen to help her get into the front court. Stevenson is blocked by Caitlin Gunn. And a legal screen there. So sideline ball. The Stevenson to bring the ball in. Has got back to Stevenson to Houston. Houston finds Alexander on the right wing, and her left-hand shot is unerringly accurate for 2 more points. The lead grows. It's out to 32 points now, halfway through this third period. Wheelchair Basketball Australia action in Perth, WA, in the suburb of Laureate, thanks to Beluga. And you can find more information about wheelchair basketball and season 2025, not just for the Women's National Wheelchair Basketball Program, but also the men's, through the website wba.net.au. Find all information, news, fixtures, results, and the standings in all of the competitions, men's, women's, 3x3. It's all there, wba.net.au. And if you're on the socials, then Wheelchair Hoops on Twitter, or X as it is nowadays, for wheelchair basketball through Facebook and Insta. Find us on all the socials. And, of course, online, wba.net.au. 44-14, a 30-point ball game into the third period here at the Bendet Basketball Centre on what is named the John Gardner Show Court, named after a long-time servant of basketball here in WA, originally out of Newcastle, New South Wales. An Australian representative in his playing days and long-time servant of basketball in Western Australia. Chief Commissioner of the State Basketball League Commission. It's now the NWBL 1 competition. Cinder Beauty taking a bit of a fall, just checking to see if she's taken any bark off. She's rolling away, flexing left arm. Put the side plate back in so she can sit square. Meanwhile, we're waiting for the free throws to take place. Will be Stevenson at the free throw line, looking to increase this 30-point lead for the Belter Perth Wheelcats. That one's too long, bounces away. No addition to the score. Second free throw. And that one is got a nice high arc, but again, it's too long. It's cleaned up by Sanchez, who releases teammate on the far side, McInerney. McInerney inside now. It's into Beauty. She's in the wars. This time in the offensive end, under the basket. She wheels herself out of harm's way. She's going to be going to the line shooting two. Stevenson changes sides. The Wheelcats. So 2 shots. So it's into Beauty. Right-hander. Sets herself. Nice arc. Just short. Bounced off the front of the iron. Some encouragement from Sanchez. Let's go, buddy. We can do this. Second one. No, it's got a nice arc, but a little off radar, off the right-hand side and out of court. So Sarah Houston to bring the ball back into court for the Belt-Up Wheelcats, and it'll be a sideline ball rather than a baseline ball. Houston now looking for options. Bounce pass could find any one of 3. This time it was a chest pass straight to Alexander, back to Houston into the front court. Wheels away down to the low post. Looks for and misses everyone. Straight across the keyway and out of court. Even misses the score bench on the sideline. Cleaned up by Mother Sanchez, the team manager for Adelaide. Now the ball back into court through Lucinda Beauty. Beauty going left-hand side, confronted by Stevenson. Looks for and finds Kira Sanchez. Sanchez bounce pass to Caitlin Gunn. Gunn, long-range shot, bounces away. Cleaned up by Gott for Wheelcats. To Houston and now to Stevenson. So 2 more, 46-14. Marking growing. 32 points at the moment. As we head to 3 minutes left of 3/4 time in this wheelchair basketball fixture. Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League on this Sunday morning, late morning here in Perth, and it's already clicked over midday in the eastern states, and in central states it's also gone past midday. So good afternoon to followers of Adelaide Thunder basketball back in the city of Churches, as you've just finished, just about to go into your lunch break. It is 48 points to 14 here, a 34-point margin in favour of the hosts, the Belt-Up Perth Wheelcats. Julianne Henry sitting on the sideline, waiting patiently for her opportunity to come into this game. Lucinda Beauty goes cross-court, finds the captain, Caitlin Gunn. Gunn into the keyway. And 2 points to Kira Sanchez, and fouls on the way up. So points count. And the foul called on Beale. So Sanchez, yes, will go to the line for a bonus one. Listen to Beauty comes off. Probably get that elbow checked out while she's off. I think she took that reasonable fall. I'm sure she's turned off with the blood wool. Doesn't seem to be too much bark taken off the left elbow, but probably just get cleaned up and patched up and get back out on the court. She's an integral part of David Gould's team here, Adelaide Thunder. Score 1 from the charity stripe. Through Sanchez. Now the ball with Perth at the opposite end. Alexander, probably not a preferred side shooting, but ball bounces away and cleaned up by Sanchez. Sanchez releases Henry. Henry now looking for a way through into the keyway. Stops short at the three-point arc. Has Sanchez bounces and then throws up the shot. That's cleared away by Sarah Houston. Houston now with Beale in front of her. Beale cutting through the keyway. And a foul will be called on the Adelaide Thunder. That's Ellie McInerney racking up her foul. Houston doesn't need the glass, doesn't need the ring, just straight in. And the half century comes up for the third time this weekend in 3 games for the built-up Perth Wheelcats. Sanchez now looking for options, has the skipper in Gunn. Gunn works away to the elbow and releases. No friendly roll for the captain. Cleaned up by Wendy Passfield. Passfield to Gunn to Sanchez. Bounces away. Cleared up by Amy Beale for the Wheelcats. And all the blue shirts of Thunder racing back in defence. Houston wheels away to the free throw line to Beale, who's confronted in front and behind. And a 3-second call. So pressure defence paying off there for the Adelaide Thunder. Couldn't get a shot away inside the allocated time inside the keyway. So Adelaide Thunder now looking to minimise what damage is on the scoreboard. Passfield short on the shot, gets her own rebound with a bit of help from Sanchez. Sanchez puts the shot up and gets 2. 19 points for the Thunder as we're into the last 30 seconds of this third quarter of Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League, thanks to Beluga, here in the western suburbs of Floreat in Perth, Western Australia. Shot's been put up by Gott and it falls short. Rebounded in defence by Adelaide, and that will be the last action of this third period as the Wheelcats go into the final break in this game, up by 31 points. We'll take a quick break to lubricate the tonsils, and we'll be back to take a look at the leading scorers, etc., before we head into the last 10 minutes of action in the West this weekend. Welcome back to the Bendet Basketball Centre for this Women's National Wheelchair Basketball fixture between the built-up Perth Wheelcats and the Adelaide Thunder. It's three-quarter time. Wheelcats leading 50 points to 19. Leading scorers for the Wheelcats, Sarah Vincey has 12, Georgia Inglis 10, 8 points to Natalie Alexander, and 6 apiece to Ebony Stevenson and Laura Gillis. For the Adelaide Thunder, Kyrgios Sanchez has 11 points and is by far the leading scorer for them. 4 points to Caitlin Gunn and a couple of points each to Lucinda Beauty and Julianne Henry as we head into the final 10 minutes of play here in Perth for this weekend, this fixture in the Indigenous round for Uncle Kevin Coombs, the legacy of Uncle Kevin Coombs, with all the games this weekend across the country in WNWBL, paying tribute to not only Uncle Kevin, but to the Indigenous culture that brings us so much pleasure, and in all facets of life, not just in sport. That Kevin Coombs, sadly passing away a couple of years ago, was a massive influence on wheelchair basketball principally, but also to Indigenous basketball and disabled sport more than anything. The Kevin Coombs Cup is played as part of the national championships each year, and now we have the Uncle Kevin Coombs Indigenous round here in Wheelchair Basketball Australia, and a fitting tribute to a great man for wheelchair basketball or basketball in general. Amy Beale gets the first points of the final period, and big cheer from her teammates on the sideline. So we have Taysha Ovens, Laura Gillis, Sarah Vincey, Amy Beale and Georgia Inglis on court for the Wheelcats. And for the Thunder, there's Julianne Henry, who's monstered under the basket. 3-second call there as well. Wendy Passfield, Emily McInerney, Lucinda Beauty and Caitlin Gunn are on court at the moment for the Thunder. So the first 2 points to Amy Beale gets the scoring underway in the final 10 minutes for the Wheelcats, who have averaged 15 plus points per quarter this weekend. It's 2 60-plus point games, and currently 52 points in this game, and we've only been playing a bit over a minute. 52-19, 31-point margin at three-quarter times, out to 33. The Adelaide Thunder get the ball back into play. On this play phase, it's Lucinda Beauty. Beauty has Julianne Henry, who will take the shot inside the allotted 3 seconds this time, and evens up the scoring for this final period. It's 2 apiece. 52-21. And if there was mass cheering for Amy Beale for the first points for the Wheelcats, just as loud from the Adelaide bench for Julianne Henry. Vincey now looks for and finds her captain, Taysha Ovens. With the left hand, throws it up. Bounces away off the iron and cleaned up by Henry. Releases her captain in Henry. Henry into the front court. Has a nice little lead from Lucinda Beauty to help her into the keyway. Looks for Henry, can't find her. Cleaned up by Sarah Vincey, who releases Gillis. Gillis into the front court. Bounce pass back to Inglis. Inglis just inside the free throw line, lobs it up and it rolls harmlessly away. Amy Beale cleans it up and gets her to another 2 points. So the only scoring for Perth in this quarter has been Amy Beale. That time a rebound and putback after shot from Georgia Inglis. Ball in the hands now of Lucinda Beauty. Winding the shot clock down towards single digits. Looks for an option, takes the shot herself. It's short, and the rebound to Beale. Beale now has her centre partner in Gillis, who releases Inglis. Inglis to Vincey, and a flat shot bounces away. Amy Beale rebounds. Her shot's just as flat and bounces away. Gillis rebound, shot misses. And some tricky moves by Lucinda Beauty. Gets the ball behind her back and across to Gunn, then to Passfield, to McInerney, to Henry. Henry Can't reach the ball behind her, and it's cleaned up by Tayshar Ovens. Ovens dribbles the ball into the front court. Over to the elbow. Gives the ball into Gillis for the shot, and it can't fall. Cleaned up by Passfield. Passfield releases Gunn. It's a matter of speed between the two captains, Gunn and Ovens, and Gunn manages to take the ball all the way to the defensive arc and puts the ball in the hoop for two more. So it's basket for basket in this final period. 4 points apiece. Good basketball. Good D at both ends. This is Inglis now, confronted by Beauty. Has Beale cruising behind it, doesn't use her. Ovens then, from long range. Can't get that one to fall. Offensive board to Gillis. Her rebound doesn't, her putback doesn't go. And Passfield cleans up. The ball is put out way too far in front of Julianne Henry, and Henry can't drag that in, and it rolls out of court. Inglis now to bring the ball back into play to a skipper, 12 to 13. Only there was a 14 out there, we could use her. Back to 12 in Inglis. Inglis pulls up just inside the 3-point line. By the time she releases the ball, it's at the foul line and off the ring and off the head of Emily McInerney and out of court. Five minutes left in this game, and the lead is just as much as it was at three-quarter time until Georgia Inglis puts in two. It goes back out to 33, 56 to 23 in favour of the built-up Perth Wheelcats. And mass substitutions coming again. Houston got, what else we got down there? Stevenson and Alexander looking to wheel into the game, as well as Jopic for the Thunder, looking to re-enter for the last few minutes of the game. Meanwhile, the shot is taken by Beauty, right just as the shot clock was running down. Shot off target. A quick release to Inglis into Beale, who loses the handle. And we've got a jump ball situation as Caitlin Gunn gets her hands on that. So Jopic comes in and McInerney wheels out for Adelaide. And as I said, wholesale changes for the Wheelcats. Ovens comes out, Vincey comes out, Gillis comes out, Inglis comes out. And that leaves Beale as the only starter remaining on court. We're just going to hold this play up while we've got a player down. He's going to need help. Looks like he might even be locked up with one of the players. No, we're unlocked now. And that's Eb Stevenson getting back on her feet. Not the first time she's turned turtle today. So for the Perth Wheelcats, out on the court now, we've got Georgina Gott, Sarah Houston, Ebony Stevenson, Natalie Alexander, and Amy Beale. Thunder just making the one change as McInerney came out for Jopic. Beauty now with the ball. Or inbound pass meant for Gunn and goes through her hands and bounces out of court. Last hands on that apparently were Perth's. So it'll be a Thunder ball or Willett. The referee's checking this. I'm just going to make sure the clocks are right. We're 4 minutes and change on the game clock. The shot clock says 9 seconds to get the shot away. And Caitlin doesn't use the 9 seconds. Uses the gets the shot away quite quickly. It goes over the top. Quick outlet pass to no one in particular, and Caitlin Gunn for Adelaide cleans up. A bit messy out there on the court at the moment. Some tired players, and there's going to be some banging of wheels as blocks come into play. And a foul there. Sees Passfield with the ball, inbound pass into the front court straight away. Lucinda Beauty for Adelaide. Now looking for options, confronted by Houston. Houston keeps the pressure on, keeps her outside the three-point line. Beauty turned turtle, but she's back on her wheels. For safety's sake, stop the clock. Adelaide were in possession, so they'll get the restart. Pass field into Beauty. Beauty almost loses the handle. Inbound pass to pass field. Henry. Henry off the back of the ring. Bounces up into the face of Amy Beale. Shakes that one off. And this is Passfield now. Passfield finds the defensive arm of Houston, who knocks it away into the path of Stevenson. Stevenson looking for options. Has got from the low post over the ring and lands somehow fortuitously into the lap of Caitlin Gunn. And the Adelaide skipper is pointing out that we've got Lucinda Beauty again off the wheels. Back in the wheels now. 17 seconds, so I've literally got a second to get this into the front court. That's easily done. Just pass it in there. And Lucinda Beauty picks it up. Now, looking for options. Has Caitlin Gunn out on the right wing. Inbound pass. Julianne Henry has time to wheel around and face the ring and throw the ball over the top. Cleaned up by Sarah Houston. Houston for the Wheelcats now. Rolls into the front court. Has options out far right through Natalie Alexander. Doesn't use anyone. Puts the shot up herself. The rebound to Georgina Gott. Bounces away. And Houston gets the fortuitous bounce and lobs it in for two. 58-23. Timeout called. Substitution called for Adelaide. Oh, it is a timeout and substitution. So David Gould using another timeout with his team down by 35 points. Just over 2 minutes left in this game today for this Indigenous round for Uncle Kevin Coombs, and the players looking quite good in their colourful uniforms for this weekend. Perth in the black today and Adelaide in the blue, red and yellow, the traditional colours of Adelaide sporting teams. And David Gould, as I said a couple of times during the commentary today, a little hamstrung with a couple of players not able to take the court today, and just keenly looking on. But Wheelcats looking to go 3 for 3 this weekend, and they're one basket away from scoring 60 points like they have in the opening two games of this 3-game series this weekend. 58 points to 23, 2 minutes 19 left on the clock as the players wheel back out for the restart. It's Caitlin Gunn with a bounce pass in to Sanchez. Sanchez brings the ball into the front court. A bit of help from Passfield, allows some time and space. Bounce pass into Caitlin Gunn, confronted by Beale. Taller Beale forces a wide shot to Passfield to Sanchez, and Sanchez scores. 58-25. It's been a much more even contest in this final period, whether that's a case of Perth easing off the accelerator or Adelaide bringing a more pressured offensive game. Who's to say? But they're certainly not giving. Pressured by Beale in the back court. Can't get the ball into the front court, and the pass has gone astray. So foul's going against Passfield, which brought some astonishing looks from the sideline. Nevertheless, it's a Perth ball, and this is Stevenson. Uses Houston, the top of the key, just outside three-point line. Back to Stevenson, to Alexander. Would probably prefer to shoot from the other side, so she puts the pass across to Houston. Houston's shot misses and is cleaned up by Caitlin Gunn for the Adelaide Thunder. Gunn now, with some help from Jopic, gets the ball into the front court. Henry The 1-2 back to Gunn, and Gunn can't get the ball to get the friendly roll. Just hits the back of the iron, the front of the iron, and then bounces away and cleaned up by Houston. Houston to Stevenson. Houston goes to the right and is unguarded. Into the keyway to Gott. Gott's shot off the glass, bounces away. Passfield to Henry, to Sanchez, to Gunn now. Really good move, ball movement now by the Adelaide Thunder. Gunn back to Henry, top of the key. Has Sanchez out on the left-hand side. Will need to take the shot soon. Does. Banks it in off the glass. 58-27. Margin down to 31 like it was at three-quarter time. Natalie Alexander with her left strong arm puts it into Beale. Beale to Stevenson. Steven gets a check from Caitlin Gunn. Sideline ball. Amy Beale will take the ball. There's just 14 seconds left in this game. Shot clock and game clock absolutely married together. Caitlin Gunn again with the foul. Takes 2.5 seconds out of the game, and the shot clock operator's finished for the day. Stevenson with a long-range shot off the back of the iron. Houston with the putback, can't get it to fall. Cleaned up by Sanchez with 2 seconds to go. Releases Caitlin Gunn, and that's the ball game. And a comprehensive win to the Perth Wheelcats, 58-27. The one game of the weekend when they couldn't get into 60 points plus, but nevertheless a 31-point victory to the belt-up Perth Wheelcats, giving them 3 for 3 for the weekend. David Gould and his team sadly unable to get a win on the weekend, but they'll be able to freshen up in the showers, get into their civvies, and head home to Adelaide. Heads held high, as they certainly didn't give up in this game. So that's it for Game 3 of a 3-game series between the Perth Wheelcats, the belt-up Perth Wheelcats, and the Adelaide Thunder. 3-0 win to the home side. Game 3, 58 points to 27.